This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with a forecast for the fall of 2015, which is, of course, the spring if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. This forecast incorporates my podcast for the week of the fall equinox, September 23rd, 2015, because the energies of that week, the energies that are at play as the equinox takes place, stay with us until the solstice in December. So, in the recording that follows, every time you hear the phrase "the week," know that I am talking about what was going on or what is going on at the time of the equinox, and that these are influences that stay with us through the entire fall. The energies of this week are going to be with us for the next 3 months. That's because the 23rd brings the equinox, which is fall in the northern hemisphere and spring in the southern hemisphere, and all of the complex energies that are swirling around us and influencing us right now are locking into that chart. So I'm going to talk about them one at a time. These are things we're going to be dealing with especially strongly this week, but they're going to continue running in the background like a program or an insistent hum that simply will not go away. Okay, first off, we have the influence of the pair of eclipses that bracket the equinox. These eclipses in Virgo and in Aries have the combined effect of washing away, wiping away habits, restructuring boundaries, making things healthier, being much more discriminating and mindful in how we spend our time on a daily basis. And this spills over into relationships. We are simultaneously ending an 18-month reevaluation of relationship dynamics and certain specific relationships. We are closing the book on certain ways of being. We are breaking from certain relationship patterns, and high on that list is no longer putting up with stuff, no longer settling, no longer sticking around in situations that don't really bring you personally what you want, where the reciprocity isn't appropriate. So watch for lots of goodbyes and lots of relationships sliding into a different form. This will happen not merely this week, it's an ongoing influence into next spring actually, but it will be strong this week. Coinciding with that and helping that along is a Mercury retrograde in Libra, the sign of relationships. So we're in a stretch of going back over in our minds and in our conversations, relationship agreements, what we value, what's most important to us. This could summon lots of lovers past, flames past. You could have a tremendous amount of communication with people you used to be involved with or used to be sweet on, or perhaps have unresolved business with that you didn't even realize was unresolved. Along with this, there will, of course, be the usual attention being required to what you say, how you say it, what agreements really mean, ignoring or avoiding assumptions, making assumptions about what somebody else is saying or agreeing to, snarls in email, in technology, in traffic, GPS routing you into barricaded streets, which happened to me as Mercury was stationing retrograde, and perhaps even more confusion around all of this than normal because of an escalating, expansive contact between Jupiter, the really big guy, and Neptune, the cosmic fog machine. And I've got a lot more information about Mercury retrograde, and this one in particular, in my article on Om Times, handling the Mercury retrograde 2015 edition. Add to this Saturn, the Lord of order, of consequences, of responsibility, burdens, commitment, maturity, behaving like an adult, now parked at the very beginning of the sign of Sagittarius, which will draw attention to what we believe to be true about religion, the legal system, politics, places far away from us, foreigners, issues of racism, of immigration, of intolerance, of the real world impact of policy and beliefs. None of these are going away. In your own personal life, you will be called upon to take responsibility for what you believe and the consequences and ramifications that flow out of that. Also in the mix, sudden, startling, life-altering shifts in perspective about relationships and money and what we value, sudden splits and ruptures based on money and differences in values or different views of relationship, and at the other extreme, relationships blossoming out of seemingly nowhere, impediments blasting away, lucky breaks coming in something that is very, very dear to your heart. So there will be positive and turning on a dime relationship shifts occurring with this as well. The way we go about getting things, however, is shifting from high drama, high energy to nitpicky piece by piece by piece by piece. So even as wondrous developments blossom in something that matters a lot to you financially, romantically, interpersonally, there will be a widespread tendency to take things in incremental steps. Measure twice, cut once will be more like measure 15 times, cut once. This approach will also color how we deal with obstacles and impediments. Chip, 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 chipping away at them. And underneath it all, the monsters of the deep, the monsters from our psyche, continue to wander freely among us. I've been saying for a long time that fear is so rampant that it is taking shape now, like Lord Voldemort in the Harry Potter books. And yes, J.K. Rowling recently said the T at the end of his name is not pronounced. You do not have to answer to this Lord. You do not have to pay him obeisance. Instead, when these beasties stir in you, when you see them in other people, use them to lead you to your own truth, your own strength, your own power. And that is going to give you the wherewithal to speak with a bold honesty. So another element of all of this is incredible awareness of big, important, profound personal truths, and even things that we normally have not dared to say because, I don't know, someone might judge or reject us. And then calmly, boldly, honestly speaking our truth, communicating it, at least radiating it. So this is the complex cocktail that we're going to be floating in, drinking, reacting to all week. And these influences are going to be with us through the winter solstice in December and the relationship rebooting ones into the spring. Look at it as putting an awful lot of old business to bed at last and incrementally building your new structures. You have a lot of ways available to find out how all of this is affecting you personally. At my site, empowermentunlimited.net, you can order my MP3 explaining what's growing out of all of this chaos for us in the next 13 months, the Jupiter in Virgo MP3. You can get Jupiter in Virgo guides for your sun and rising sign. You can sign up to join my mailing list and receive weekly notice of every new forecast and article and resource that I have up at my site. And you can also book a session with me, all at empowermentunlimited.net.